Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Nicole, and over here on this channel, we like to do anything that has to do with beauty. And if you guys are new, why don't you guys head on down below, hit that subscribe button, change it to all so that way you guys are notified every time I upload a brand new video. And while you're down there, you might as well hit that little like button. Really helps my channel out. So today we have something super exciting. Nomad Cosmetics sent me their new Ireland Atlantic Way palette. This is a brand new eyeshadow palette that is dropping on Tuesday the 12th. This is an 18 pan eyeshadow palette with 11 velvety mattes and 7 glistening shimmers. It is a clean beauty, vegan and PETA certified palette. Retails for $49. Launches on Tuesday, March 12th at 12:01 a.m. EST, 9:01 p.m. PST. And the cause, because Nomad likes to do travel palettes, and with those travel palettes, they do like to donate a percentage of the proceeds to a specific cause. So the cause for this palette will be the Irish Wildlife Trust. And so this is the palette. We have a green velvety texture that has a little clovers on the front. I can see this probably getting very dirty. This is the palette. It is absolutely stunning. We have so many different greens because, you know, there's a lot of moss. There is the rolling hills in Ireland. So of course we have to have green and, you know, clovers, of course. And then we do have some pops of blue as well as some neutral tones in this palette. The way that they did the shimmers in this palette are just absolutely stunning. And I also would like to throw in a side note that if I sound nasally, it's because I am. I am currently getting over a very bad cold, but we do have beautiful velvety mattes, and I believe, if I'm correct, this is supposed to be the same formula as the Ghost Town USA palette, which I do happen to have, and I also have a video on that. I will link it. Yeah, I really did enjoy that formula. I'm gonna go in with the Sigma eyeshadow base primer in the shade Persuade, and I would normally do 2 eye looks, but to be totally honest with you, because I'm not feeling the greatest, we're just gonna stick with 1. I also do want to talk about the fact that I have not been very active on here, and I'm so very sorry. Like I said in my very last video, life has been lifing. Things have been taking us by storm over here, and we are doing our best to roll with the punches. Okay, I'm gonna be totally, absolutely honest. I'm not gonna be able to say some of these names. They're a little difficult to say. You know what? I'm gonna go in with the Wild Rover, which is the shade right here, and we're gonna throw that more into the crease. And because it's more of a velvety matte, you're gonna end up with probably a lot of fallout. This is part of the reason I did not start with my base. Wow, I feel really out of practice right now. It's been a minute. I'm just gonna go in with a clean blending brush and kind of further blend that. That way we don't have like a super harsh line. And just because I received this in PR doesn't mean that you guys are not going to get my honest thoughts, because that is one thing I believe in, is full on transparency. If something is not good, we're going to talk about it. So I don't want to take this up too high. I just really want more definition, more in the crease. I do have hooded eyes. So that is what we are working with right now. So we're going to bring this down towards the lash line and kind of tap and pack. And we're going to bring that just kind of down. Grab our clean blending brush and just do little swirly motions, and then go into your windshield wipers. You don't want to add too much pigment on top of this. And then from there, we will go in with the Wild Atlantic Way. This is more of like a sage green, but it is a little bit lighter. So I think that this will work well to kind of blend out the Wild Rover shade that we put down first. I might need to go in with the Malin Head. Okay, I'm gonna go in with that clean brush, and I'm gonna get it dirty with that, with the shade right here. The one I cannot pronounce correctly. And it has more of like a yellow green tone. Okay, we're just gonna take a little bit of the Danny Boy shade and run that over the top. Make this a little bit more sage army green leaning. From there, I'm gonna go in with Blarney Stone because it's a little bit deeper. Uh-oh. Okay, so my good friend Alicia Budget Beauty, I don't know if this is the same one that fell out of her palette. I believe it is. It's the Cobb Harbor. That just popped right on out. I'm gonna pop that right back in, and I'm not gonna lift this sucker anymore because I don't want any more shades falling out. I can take some glue and glue that back down. And I don't know if this is just PR palettes that are doing this, but I do know that there was another person who had that same issue. Just something to note. I don't know if all the palettes are like that. If mine happened to be that way from being in transit, we're gonna be very careful with it until I get that glued back down. That's fine. So we're gonna go in with Blarney Stone. Take a very light amount of that and just kind of pack it towards the outer corner and bring it in just a tiny smidgen. I don't want this to be too prominent, but I just need a little bit more oomph right there. And I could probably take the Keem strand, which is more of like a navy blue, and do the same thing because blues and greens, they could work. They could work. And then go in with one of the brushes that I already used to do one of the lighter shades and just kind of blend over the top. And then, as simple as that, we're gonna go in with a shimmer, which for that, I'm gonna grab my glitter glue. I can tell I need just a tiny bit more definition right there. That's not a palette problem, that's a me problem. And I can fix that. So I gotta be very careful. I'm gonna slap my fingers over the top of that so that way it doesn't fall out again. We're gonna go in with this shade right here. It's just calling to me. It's a necessity. It's so buttery. We're just gonna tap that over the top. Okay, I might need a brush for this if I want more precision. I need a moment of silence for this shade. Am I a little dramatic? Yes, sorry. It could be the cold meds getting to me. I'm gonna go in with this taint color. Yep. I don't know what it's actually called. Son of a biscuit eater. I just wanted to use a mirror. Runaway shade. Oh, this is beautiful. It's more of a blue-green. And we're just gonna dab this along the upper lash line. You know what? I'm honestly really not hating it. I love this. This is fun. This palette is absolutely stunning. So since I have hooded eyes, we are going to bring a little bit more definition back into that crease area. And we're just gonna blend over the top of it. We're gonna use Blarney Stone because I want something that's just a little bit deeper, and I'm gonna dab some of that off before I throw it in. And we're just gonna edge this. Just wiggle it right on in there. Just to kind of define that just a little bit more. Hooded eyes are fun to work with. And then I'm gonna go in with Wild Rover, which is the first shade that we started out with. And I'm just gonna take that and flick that lightly above the top of that line. And then we're gonna grab a blending brush, and then we're gonna go Wild Atlantic Way, which is that sage light green color. We're gonna run that over the top. Yep, that's okay. That's going the way I want it to. All right. I'm gonna go do the other eye off camera, get my base done. We'll come back, we'll do the bottom eye look and really talk about this palette. Okay, and we are back. We finished the top part of the eye look. We just have to come back and do something simple on the bottom. And at that point, we are going to be using the more brown tones, which I did kind of go over with the Bunrati Castle shade and kind of redo the wing a little bit. I will say I struggled a little bit with this side that I did on camera when I was working on the other eye off camera, and I took a little bit more time to really just like play with the formula and try to see how it blended a little bit better, what worked best, what kind of brushes worked best. I had an easier time with this side with this eye. So we are going to do the bottom part, but I will say that while I was playing with it, I was trying to put some lashes on the underneath and was barely even holding my palette open, and we had another casualty with another shade falling out. So something to be noted is that the glue is not the best in this palette, and I don't know if they switched because I never had an issue with my Ghost Town USA palette. I don't know if it's just the ones that they sent out for PR or if all of the palettes are like that, but it is something to be noted. They can be glued back in, but the shade that fell out, I cannot pronounce this. Diaduit? Diaduit? I don't know how to say it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to re-glue in 2 shades. For me, that's not a problem. It's not a big deal, but for you guys spending your hard-earned money on this, it's just something to be noted. So I will be messaging the brand after this so that way I can let them know, just to err on the side of caution. So be careful when you are holding your palette and keep some glue on standby, just in case. Okay, so for the bottom part of the eye, we are going to do something very simple, and I'm just gonna go in with the Bunrati Castle shade, and we're gonna take a very small amount. I'm not gonna be holding up my palette from this moment forward just because I'm afraid that more shades might fall out. We're just gonna hug the outside of the bottom lash line with that shade, and slow motion, just picking up ever so little bit on our brush. And then I think I'm gonna go with the Connemara and mix it with Danny Boy and just kind of hug the bottom part of that. That one is a very powdery shade. Same thing on this side. Okay, so from there, I'm just gonna throw on a little bit of mascara onto the bottom lashes. I'm gonna throw a little bit of gold eyeshadow into the waterline just to really help this pop. I will say I have like next to non-existent bottom lashes. Let's be real, I have like no lashes in general. So let's talk about it. We have the Nomad Ireland Wild Atlantic Way. I will say that for $49, even with the pans falling out, I still am gonna say that I feel like it's worth your money. If you don't have a lot of green tones or you don't have any green palettes, this is a really good starting point. It makes it very easy. You have like 3 different color stories that you can really go for. You can go for something that's very neutral with, you know, Bunrati, and then maybe use Connemara and blend that out, or even Danny Boy. Danny Boy would work with that as well. Or you can go more blues. The pans falling out is really unfortunate, but I will say from a smaller indie brand, there's gonna be a few little mishaps along the way. 2 shades falling out in a palette, it's a little disheartening. But I will say that it's not that hard just to glue it back in. I've had it happen with my Marc Jacobs bronzer where the pan's like fallen out and I've had to glue it back in before. There's been so many different palettes that I've had that issue with. So, I mean, it's not just a smaller brand that this is gonna happen with. This is many brands across the board where you're gonna have pans that kind of fall out. Sometimes the glue within shipping, it starts to loosen up and then it just lets go. So that's as simple as gluing those back in, but the shimmers in this palette are absolutely stunning. I will say I have a shade that's very similar to the green shimmer that I used today. And I have it in a loose pigment from Nakia Joy. That one does shift, but this is very much like that color. That shade is just, it's stunning. I'm so drawn to shades like this. And the gold in this palette is just, oh, it's impeccable. I am excited to keep playing around with this. I will say the velvet is probably gonna get dirty really fast. I already have like glitter coming off of my palette. So it's a little sparkly, but I mean, all the best things in life are, right? So for $49, I think that that is a pretty decent price point for a palette like this from a small indie brand. I love the fact that they give back and give a small portion of the proceeds to a specific cause. And so I'm super excited to really look up what that cause is about later. I did not do my research before this video, but I will be doing it afterwards because I think it's really cool. So I say that you need this palette. If you were looking for a green tone palette, this is a really good one. I do like the formula. I had a little bit of a difficult start, but we got there. We got there. And I love this eye look and I'm gonna have to recreate it again. There's just something about green, okay? There's just something about green. So if you guys are interested, there's so many different affiliate codes that you guys can use to save a little bit of money on this. I know Teresa has one. I believe it's Teresa is Dead. And I think that saves you potentially 10% off of your purchase. So anyways, I will keep you guys all updated on everything that I am using. I will say that I did test out the Physicians Formula Butter Glow Bronzing Serum today, as well as the Butter Melt Bronzer from NYX. And I did finally break into the Fighting Ferdinand X Khaki Sunrise Blush today. I really love the look I created, and I gotta say, like sneak peek, I'm really loving these new products and I can't wait to keep testing them out. So eventually here soon, I'm gonna come together with all of the products that I have been testing out and using and creating a video about it so that way you guys are updated on all of the things that I've bought. So if you have any questions about today's video or anything about this palette in particular, go ahead and drop a comment down below and we can chit chat down there, and I will see you guys all in the next one.